All right, let's talk about wine. But we're going somewhere you probably haven't thought of. Southern Brazil. Yep, you heard me right. Forget everything you think you know, because today we're diving into Serra Gaúcha. It's this absolutely breathtaking region that honestly feels more like you've been dropped into Tuscany than anywhere in South America.
So there's this saying that just perfectly sums up this place, where Italian tradition meets Brazilian terroir. I mean, how perfect is that? It's all about this incredible mashup of old world passion meeting new world land. And that fusion, that's what makes Serra Gaúcha one of the most fascinating and, frankly, exciting wine spots on the entire planet.
Seriously, just close your eyes for a second. Imagine you're actually there. You're wandering through these beautiful rolling hills. You see these old stone houses, flowers everywhere, and you can smell the most amazing food and wine in the air. That's the vibe, and that's exactly where we're going in this explainer.
Okay, so let's get into the story, because to really get the wine, you've got to understand the people who make it. And this whole story, it doesn't even start in Brazil. It starts way across the ocean, in Italy.
So this timeline really shows you how it all happened. It kicked off back in the mid-1800s. You've got Italian immigrants showing up, looking for a new life, with not much more than their traditions and a whole lot of hope. Fast forward a few decades, and they're planting the very first vines, making wine right in their own houses. And then, the real game changer. In the early 1900s, they realized they were stronger together. They started forming cooperatives, and that's when this collection of family passions really blew up into a proper industry.
And this right here gets to the absolute heart of it. This idea of vinho como herança, wine as heritage. See, for these settlers, wine was never just something to drink. No way. It was everything. It was the center of the family dinner table. It was a symbol of community, of celebration. And maybe most importantly, it was a way to keep a piece of the home they'd left behind. It's literally their heritage, right there in a bottle.
Okay, so they brought the passion, right? But what about the place? What did they find when they actually got to Brazil? Let's talk about the land itself, the famous terroir. You hear that word a lot in the wine world, and all it really means is everything that makes a place unique. The soil, the hills, the climate, the whole shebang. And in Serra Gaúcha, the terroir is really, really special.
So the region's secret sauce really boils down to three main things. First up, altitude. The vineyards are way up high. This gives you big temperature swings, which lets the grapes ripen nice and slow, packing in all kinds of complex flavors. Second, you've got this great subtropical climate, not too hot, not too cold. And third, and this is a big one, is the soil. It's volcanic basalt soil. Now that sounds fancy, but here's why it matters. It's full of minerals and it drains really well. That forces the vines to work harder, digging their roots deep down, and that struggle, it actually produces way more intense, high-quality grapes.
And because of that amazing terroir, they can grow all sorts of different grapes. It's pretty cool. You'll see the classics, your Merlots and your Chardonnays, which are soft and fresh, but they're also not afraid to experiment. They're growing innovative stuff like Marselan and Tannat. These grapes produce these fantastic full-bodied reds with lots of spice. It's the best of both worlds, really.
But listen, you can't talk about Serra Gaúcha and only talk about wine. I mean, you could, but you'd be missing out. The experience there is a total feast for the senses, especially when it comes to the food.
Oh man, just look at this list. This is the stuff dreams are made of. You've got Gaglioletto al primo canto, which is this amazing charcoal grilled chicken. They are obsessed with it there. Of course, there are fresh, homemade pastas like cappelletti. You've got incredible artisanal cheeses and cured meats, hearty polenta that's served creamy or fried, and to top it all off, rich handmade chocolates. It's basically the ultimate Italian comfort food, but with a Brazilian soul.
So that brings up the big question, right? You're sitting there, surrounded by all this delicious food. What on earth do you drink with it?
Well, don't worry, the locals have this dialed in. For that grilled galetto chicken, you want something like a light Pinot Noir or even a crisp Riesling. If you're having pasta with a rich red sauce, you go for a bigger red, like a Cabernet or a Merlot. And for the chocolate, oh, you have got to try this. They have a local fortified red wine called Licoroso Tinto. Fortified just means they add a little distilled spirit to it, which makes it richer and a bit stronger. It is an absolutely perfect match for dessert.
So if you're already thinking about booking a flight, and I wouldn't blame you, think of this as your little cheat sheet. You've got the Valle dos Viñedos, which is like the historic heart of the whole operation. Then there's Pinto Bandera, which is all about high-altitude premium sparkling wines. Speaking of bubbly, you can't miss Garibaldi. It's literally Brazil's official capital of sparkling wine. And if you want something a bit more cozy and traditional, Montebello do Sul is where you'll find all these amazing little family-run wineries.
All right, as we start to wrap up our little trip here, let's just pull back for a second and think about what this all means.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? It's that Serra Gaúcha isn't just a wine region. It's not just a spot on a map, it's a living story. It's a story about heritage, about the land, about incredible flavors. And it's a story that's waiting for you to discover it, right there in a single glass.
And that really just leaves one question for you. If you get the chance to pour a glass from this amazing corner of the world, with its Italian soul and its Brazilian heart, what story do you think you'll find?